Now let's talk about some, again, because we've got new people here, let's reiterate some old stuff that probably needs to be gone over again. And this is Balder. His name was his name was Buster when I got him. But after the events with Mario, when the divine masculine energies came back really, really hard on this planet, I came home and he told me he's got a new name. His name is Balder. And Balder is a Celtic god of the divine masculine, which you should look that up. Baldur, or just R. It's will actually tell you what the true divine masculine energy is. And it's not at all what most people think it is. Not at all. Because truly divine masculine is not a protector at all, because truly divine doesn't have any reason to protect. There's nothing to protect from, by the way. So you might look that up for the fun of it. Okay, now let's talk about some pure physical stuff here. So let's talk about some of the doozies. Let's talk about your inability to make money, your inability to find true love, your trouble with disease and pain. All right, those are basics, right? Everybody has trouble with those things, almost always. At least one of them, a lot of times all of them. The reason why this is such a big deal is those are very good ways. They've been really drummed into your brain since you were teeny, 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 tiny. Okay? You've heard people around you struggle with money. Most of us, everything but the 1%ers, most of us have been around people all of our lives who have been struggling for money, concerned with money, worried about money, planning around money, thinking about money, and not having enough or getting more. Okay? The law of attraction dictates that whatever you vibrate at goes out to the mechanism that everyone calls the law of attraction. And it's just a mechanism that's in place that basically says whatever you're vibrating at, not what you say, not what you think, not what you do, but how you're vibrating, which is deep in your soul, your deepest belief systems, how you really, really, really feel. Some of it you don't even know. That goes out to the universe, to this law of attraction mechanism. That mechanism is set up that you're a god. And it must do as you command. Must. It cannot do anything else. It's just a mechanism that's done as it's set up to operate that way. And so it doesn't speak English. It doesn't speak Spanish. It doesn't go off of any other way other than the way you are vibrating. And it doesn't judge. It's a mechanism. It's not a person. It's a mechanism. And this mechanism says, okay, whatever you're vibrating at, that is a command to it. Law of attraction mechanism. And it will send back approximately 3 times events around you that will keep you vibrating or vibrate more strongly the way that you are now. Okay? And that's the trick. So everyone thinks that what is around them is the truth, and that's not true. What's around you is what you created yesterday. It's what you created 5 minutes ago. It isn't the truth from you right now. You can change that at any time. It's totally irrelevant. All that is that's around you, that you see around you, that you believe is truth and is real, that is proof of what you've already created. That's what that is. That is a sign of how you're doing it well or how you're doing it badly. That's what it is. Okay? That's all it is to you. That is just a mechanism. You can look around you and go, oh, well, I'm doing pretty good in this area. I'm doing pretty good in this area, but suck in this area, so I need to work on this one. Okay? That's all what you see around you means to you. That's all it should mean to you. So if you're struggling with the biggies, love and money and physical health, then these are things that you have deep issues with. And if you've stayed consistently about the same, if you've repeated pretty much where that you've been your whole life, or people that are in your family, if you're very similar to them, that's very, very common that you continue what your family does. It's just because that's the way you're vibrating. And there are things, especially with money, that are so deep and I continue to try to make friends with that energy of money, which is a little tricky for me personally, but I'm working on it. It's getting better. It's getting better. But you have to know, you have to be honest enough with yourself. You have to understand that you're creating all of this. Number one, that you're a creator God and you're creating all of this. And that what you see around you is the result of what you're creating. Once you've understood point one and point two, now you can go to work. Now you go to work. It does not matter what the government's doing, the world's doing, your neighbor's doing, your mom's doing, your lover's doing, your boss is doing. None of that matters. If you truly understand that you're a creator God and that you create everything, and what you see around you is simply the effect of that creationary process. Okay? Because at that point, then you can look at it and say, okay, this I'm doing well and this I'm doing not. What can I do? What can I do about this? Okay. Well, I can work with the physical problem one first, because that's the one I've been the most successful with, because I have had over decades and decades a lot of physical problems. That, of course, to me was number one that was in my face all the time. There's nothing like consistent chronic pain that will really throw you into a tizzy because you can't focus on anything else. You cannot focus on anything else if you're dealing with physical ailments, especially chronic pain. So what I did was I went after those first. Well, you have to create differently by number one, admitting that you're the cause of it. You're the one that created it. What you see around you is the result of your creationary process, and that you have the power to change it. Then you start working with you. There is no one-size-fits-all way of doing this, guys. There's not. You have to do this with yourself, with what works for yourself. Now, for me, this was kind of a catch-22 because I'm a retired nurse. So I had all of these belief systems that had been trained into me that I had to look at, analyze, and get rid of. Now, fortunately for me, when I was in school, there was one thing that really stuck in my mind. And there was this where they told us that, I think it's like every 7 years, every cell in your body is replaced. And that stuck in my mind really, really hard in nursing school. And I was like, well, if that's true, why do we ever age? And I asked many, many doctors this, many, many teachers, many, many doctors over the years, and they never had a question. They never had an answer for me. So when I came after I had my NDE and I had to deal with these physical ailments and this chronic pain, I went back to that belief, that I did believe that was something that I believed had been proven, and that I could build on that belief. I could drop everything off based on that belief and that belief alone. So I started believing that one at a time I was replacing the bad cells with good cells. And it would just take 7 years. And if I was careful about it, I could replace anything that was damaged, anything that was a problem, with healthy, genetically clean, good cells again. That worked for me. I'm not going to say that that'll work for you. You have to find what will work for you. Then I'm really, really big into, I was raised poor. We had gardens and hunted our own food and raised our own food my whole life. And the food was a whole lot better than it is now out of a grocery store. I remember that. So very easily I went on Google and found out that all of the stuff that was in the food that's at the grocery store and how I didn't want that. And it made sense to me that all of that stuff listed on the back of that package was going to be a poison to this body. And poison in this body is like putting sugar in a gas tank, right? And it wasn't going to make it flow right. So I started cutting all that out. I used things that made sense to me with my nursing, with my just my history, And I built on those belief systems, used them to my advantage to make myself well. Now, the truth of the matter is, with getting rid of all the old belief systems and truly believing that I'm the God that I am, without them interfering, I could have made all of it go away in a split second. But because I am aware that I am human and I've been here for a long time, and they're in the back of my head, they're tiny little things that cause me to not step off the edge of a gorge and fly and sprout wings and fly, even though I know I could do that. I'm capable of it. I'm a god. But I know those other things will sneak in there real quick and go, oh, gravity, fifth grade science class. Oh no, I can't do that. And it'll do it so fast that I don't know whether or not I'll be doing that just yet. So you have to become very real with yourself about what your belief systems are, where they're an issue, and how you can fix them. I was an RN for 25 years. I dealt with hospitals. I dealt with doctors. It was not hard for me to say, these guys are quacks. This does not work. I watched it every single day, so it was not hard for me to get rid of those guys. I had, on the other hand, seen amazing things with natural, holistic plants, herbs, and really old things like aromatherapy and kinesiology and acupuncture, those things that have been around for thousands and thousands of years. So it was not hard for me to get rid of modern medicine and replace it with ancient things that have been around for a very long time. That was easy for me to do. And I'm not saying that that will work for you. That's the problem. The problem is that people go from thing to thing to thing looking for the thing that will work for them, when in truth, your thing that will work for you is unique to you, and you've got to find it. It's your responsibility to find it. And if you want it bad enough, you'll find it. You'll find a way. A way will be shown to you if you want it intensely enough. Okay? All right? Okay, the same thing is true with love. You know, I was raised in a very, very dysfunctional family, I saw hide nor hair at all of true love, let alone love in a relationship. So I recreated very bad marriages, very bad ones, very much like my parents' marriage, because I was repeating the same vibration. I didn't know any other vibration to be vibrating at. I'm not sure if I still do, but I'm going to keep looking for it. I keep looking for it. But that wasn't, on a life and death scenario, having a mate is not at the top of my list. I can live without one. I don't live very well if I've got a lot of disease processes and chronic pain. So disease and chronic pain was my number one. And the next thing was calming down the negative relationships in my life. And that one was easy. I just started clicking through them and said, okay, is this a positive or is this a negative in my life? Negative, goodbye. I love you bunches. Wish you well. Goodbye. I want nothing to do with it. I don't play anymore. I am here to, at the very worst, to be calm. At the very best, to be happier and happier. But I have no time anymore for arguing and fighting. And, I have. If you guys haven't figured it out with 450 videos, I'm a very good talker, and I could argue with anybody and win. But that didn't get me anywhere. The winning did not get me anywhere, and it certainly didn't get me happier. So now I let everybody else win. I'm not going to fight with you. You think your way is right, I'm going to agree with you, then go for it. But I'm not going to change my mind for me anymore. And that's what everybody's got to figure out. You've got to find out why you have the things around you the way they are, and you have to fix them. Understanding that it has nothing whatsoever to do with the other person in any way, shape, or form. It's only about you. You can change it at any time. And it's usually deep-seated belief systems that are very, very ingrained that cause you to repeat, and recreate the things that you don't want over and over and over. Okay? All right. Well, let's cut it off there, and who knows what I'll talk about next, because I never know. See y'all later. HugeHugs. Bye now.